Hi, here I am. Let me introduce my guest, Kay. Hi, Kay. And then
Hello
my
there.
co-host, Robin. Hi, Robin. This is Kay Kirscht and Robin Fisher. Let me get a caption up here so that we know Kay's spelling of her name and stuff like that, because I think that's a nice thing. And so we are still doing a fundraiser for my friend Rob, who had a house fire. So that's at the very bottom. The link is in the description. Hi, Jeremy. It's good to see you. Link is in the description. If you can give, please do. If you can't give, that's okay. So I still need to update the Philo page. We had kind of a hiccup technically this week. And so, so I still need to update the page. But Kay was our artist last week, so she knows right where we're at. And let me put me in the big screen here. And so we had Philo's diary found in a flashback last episode. And then I'm showing my panels here. But after, the diary was found, the kaiju are basically finding out that she loves Godzilla and he rejected her. And then present day Godzilla rejects how he treated Philo back in Kaiju High. And then they dance by the light of the rebel. I don't remember. Did I do the last panel, Kay, or did you do the last panel?
You did the last panel.
Okay, well then this is where we left off. Is they dance by the light of the rebel. And so this is modern day. We have Philo and the dog, Otis and Bluto, down in the little corner watching them, Mystery Science Theater 3000 style. And I think it is time to get back to their story. So since I did the last panel, Kay, do you want to do the first panel?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. That way it will switch things around. And so present day. I'm thinking like they're looking up and wishing the happy couple, many years together or something like that. I don't know. Godzilla's like immortal, isn't he?
I kind of think that there should be like Andre in the corner of the page, like maybe lifting the page and they get sent to back to their apartment. Because Andre
Armand.
Armand is the teleporting dude, right? So he just kind of sneaks in there and like breaks the fourth wall and like peels back a layer, and then they go back to their apartment.
I would love to draw them.
Okay. Okay. What are you thinking, Kay?
Let's see. Armand lifts the page of time and sends our heroes back to
their abode.
I think just back home, and they just tumble back into the apartment. I like that. Okay, so Armand is a octopus.
Yep.
Yes. And so Kay, that is your first panel. So they're back in the apartment for my panel. Then what happens? Let's see. Not sure if he's that immortal. It took a meltdown and special bombs to take him down for good, it seems. I don't know if Godzilla ever goes down for good. He kind of always comes back. He's Godzilla. Like if they killed him forever, we wouldn't have Godzilla -1.
What if he's like, I can't remember what it is. Was it the Tooth Fairy movie or the Jack Frost movie? But like if the kids believe in you, you're stronger. And so Godzilla will never die because everybody believes in him. You know what I mean? He's such a huge piece of Japanese mythology that there's just no way he'll ever die.
Yeah. Okay. I could see that. So then is Philo immortal, or is Philo just one of Godzilla's dog girlfriends? If he just has a series of them throughout his life. I don't know. They went to high school together, so.
Well, I thought we closed the page on the whole Godzilla Philo thing because now we're focusing on our crew.
That's true. I don't know. I was just talking with Jeremy about whether or not Godzilla was immortal. And,
okay.
So we're going to have Armand lifting the page. They're back in the apartment. what is the apartment
And
like?
Bluto's like, damn, what a long, strange trip that was.
Okay, so caption, what a long, strange trip that was. Okay,
And then
yeah.
the image is like, they're all there, but the close-up is like of the dog eating pasta. He finally gets his pasta. He's happy.
I think the dog is the only one that got pasta, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's eating the pasta.
Like, shouldn't after all this, Philo deserve some pasta?
Okay, they all eat pasta. But the dog is happiest of all eating the pasta.
So, how are you ladies? How was your week?
Well, you're saying it's really hot over there. What's happening in Denver?
It was about 100 today. 100
In Canadian?
Fahrenheit in Canadian. Let me figure this out. 100
35?
in Celsius. 37.777.
That's brutal. And then
Yeah.
I'm sure the humididex made it up to about 45.
Actually, Denver's really dry. So it's
Oh.
a dry heat.
That's
Yeah,
not so bad.
It's because of the altitude. So
Yeah.
it doesn't, the air can't hold a lot of moisture.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
The more you know, ding. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's go here. And then,
At work today, we had a crackhead come in. That was fun.
nice. I
At the
loves
butcher
me
shop.
my crackheads. She says ironically.
He came in and was like, "While I was in your store, someone took the lock off my bike and put a new lock on." You're
Yeah.
like,
Right. Yeah. Right.
Really?
Uh-huh.
They knew your combo? How did that happen?
Yeah. Yeah. How did they
But
know?
basically, he was trying to like
Steal a bike.
distract
Have you
so he
guys
could
cut
steal.
cut the line for him? Cut the lock for him. Yeah.
But yeah, he went around and talked to everybody. Finally, they had to call our boss to get him to kick him out.
Yeah. That's a crackhead for you. Yeah.
Well, I just wondered how they were capable of taking his lock off
Uh-huh.
and why they would waste their time putting a new lock on. If they were stealing the bike, wouldn't they just take the bike?
So
Mhm.
one of my newest YouTube rabbit hole binges is this channel called Explore With Us Body Cam. And it's cops body cams in
Oh,
just
God.
yeah, it's just, they're wearing their body cam, they encounter
Yeah.
a crackhead, and they end up finding a body in the woods. Whatever it is that cops are up to, it's body cam footage, right? And so there was this body cam where basically this guy is driving across the US. He's in Nevada driving from Texas to California, okay? He's in Nevada where Vegas is. And he's carrying $100,000 on him because it's his life savings. He never lets it leave his side. He doesn't trust banks. He's a former vet, and everything that he makes, he'll use the banks for direct deposit and then take the money out and keep cash. And so he has $100,000. Well, the cop, he answers all the questions. He tells him about the cash right up front as soon as he asks. He's telling him, hey, I'm headed to California to visit my daughters. I'm going to give him some money and like this is to buy a house out in Texas for them someday and stuff like that. And obviously the cops confiscated the money, but the guy didn't do anything wrong. It was a case of civil forfeiture. No, it was what was it called? Adoption. Adoption is different than forfeiture. Forfeiture.
No, I'm Canadian, and I'm sorry. What did he do wrong? He was just carrying money on?
Wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. They just said it was suspicious. And here's the thing, okay? They used a drug sniffing dog. This is by the time there's like 12 cops around this guy. They used a drug sniffing dog to sniff the money, and the dog responded that it smelled drugs on money. But it's been proven in studies and stuff that there's so much fucking cocaine on hundreds
Yeah,
that
that's
it's
ridiculous.
inadmissible in court to use that as evidence if they smell drug on money, because you can't control what happened to the money before you got it.
How do you not lose your mind when shit like that happens?
Yeah, so they take his money, right? They tell him what it quote unquote weighed out to. They did not count the money. He had receipts. He knew how much money they had. And so, you know, all this shit's going on. He's contacting the DA. I need to get my money back, right? You're literally taking food or out of my kids' mouths, you know, shit like that. And and it wasn't until he contacted the local news to let him know what happened and then give him his evidence of, this is the video of them taking my money. You know, these are the badge numbers that I collected from them and stuff like that. That then they returned a portion of the money to him. They only returned about $85,000, right? And he swears to God on his children's, you know, like lives that he had over $100,000.
Well, he had the receipts, didn't he?
He had the receipts. Yeah, exactly. Of how much money he had taken over the years. But because he had been taking it over the years and it was in cash, and then he spends the cash, they could not prove that it was $100,000. And so, and he didn't keep a ledger of how much money was in the pile.
Yeah, how much he took out or put in.
Yeah, and so he's still in litigation with them to try and receive the missing $15,000. Right? They thought that he just wouldn't notice that $15,000 of his money is gone. You know, it's just, yeah. Anyway, so explore with us. One reason why I like this channel on YouTube is because they're not. It's not propaganda. You know, where like propaganda is like, cops can do no wrong. The thin blue line. We must protect those protectors of us, right? You know, propaganda, right? Mm-hmm. And like Law and Order is propaganda, right? I'm sorry, but police officers aren't always that honest. And so what I like about Explore With Us is when the officers do something wrong or illegal, they point it out on the video. And they're like, yeah, he just totally violated his rights right here. Right? And they talk about like things that he probably should not have consented to. He thought he had nothing to hide and stuff, but he just let him keep digging car and stuff like that. And they knew that they would get a hit on the money because of the likelihood that cocaine would be on $100 bills. They knew they would get a hit. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so I got to get drawing on my actual show. but yeah, I just thought I'd share that. That's terrible. Yeah, I've seen some channels that lean into that propaganda angle. Yeah, propaganda is what Ian and I call it. When it's the cops could do no wrong. Like you saw a lot of it pop out after George Floyd was murdered. And you know, with the Black Lives Matter stuff, you saw this counter of like a bunch of YouTube channels and stuff that were trying to show all the good that police do in the world. And there are a lot of those body cam footage. There's a lot of the Explore With Us videos and stuff that show really good investigative work. But then they'll show like this guy getting his life savings taken because it was quote unquote suspicious. They never had probable cause and they took his money anyway.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, not cool at all. So I just thought I'd share that bit of wackiness because I just watched it like today and it made me so angry.
That would make me angry too, and tough to keep your cool during that because you know if you freak out, they're gonna use it against you.
The guy never used profanity. He answered all of their questions. He was respectful the whole time. You could tell he was pissed at the end, and he's telling the cop, like, I know you're just doing your job, but you're literally taking food out of my kids' mouths right now.
Yeah.
Like, I got $2 in my jacket to get home. Like, fuck you. You know, but he didn't say fuck you. You know, he was more respectful than I would have been.
Yeah, I don't know if I could have kept my cool. Because that's your money. They have no right to it at all, period.
Yeah.
If acting suspicious, prove it. How? How am I acting suspicious? What's suspicious about it? He was honest and upfront about everything from the get-go.
Yeah, and they're even like we can't get him on anything. Let's bring in the dogs, right? You could totally tell. And like even I knew that the dogs would get a hit on the money because he was carrying hundreds. Right? Like
Yeah.
it's common enough knowledge that there's just drugs on US currency because it's used for drug deals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I've seen some channels. Yeah, it's frustrating, and anyone would be rightfully mad if it occurred spur of the moment. Yeah, they literally took the guy's life savings in 90 minutes, and I mean, he ended up getting a lawyer, and again, he went to the local news, and then finally got the return of the majority of the money. But he swears up and down he had over $100,000 in there, and they only returned like 85,000 and change. It's it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like I would have kept a ledger with the pile and been like, yeah, but the ledger says how much was in there, right? Of how much I added to the pile and how much I removed from the pile. But that's just me. Okay. I'm sorry. Kay, are you done with your panel? Because I haven't even started mine. I'm just talking about.
It gave me a good long time to draw.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just.
I'm digging it.
Yeah. So I'm having Bluto just say what a long, strange trip that was. I'm not like going into too much detail because I really should.
Yeah, no, I think that's distinct. That's perfect.
Yeah, and then so what happens then? Is the pasta burn on the stove? Because they've been gone.
Ooh.
Did time stand still? Did time stand still?
So it's like Digimon, where they're in the digital world for all this time, and it turns out they were gone for 13 seconds. No one watched Digimon.
So maybe the pasta is still cooking, or it's just right at that point in time. So they drain it and eat it.
Perfect.
Let's see. On a lighter note, I discovered a YouTube channel called DGR that does Mario 64 mod playthroughs, and they're funny. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, YouTube channels that I like that video game related. I like Call Me Kevin and his Do Not Call Me Kevin channel, which is his alternate channel. And he has a third one that has like music on it, but he needs to get better before I start listening to his music. And but he's really funny. I love him playing different video games and stuff. I like the Spiffing Brit, if you know him. He exploits video games. Here, let me put me in the main.
Exploits video game?
He exploits video games. Yeah, he'll find exploits in the video games, I
see, like glitches and stuff, or ways to grind faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, if you're holding this key and this key at the same time, it lets you put this modification on 2 guns instead of 1, or whatever. Or like infinite gold hacks and stuff like that, infinite money hacks, where it's like if you like keep robbing this guy and then selling the shit back to him, you're getting infinite money. Because then you can just knock him out and rob him again and then sell it back to him, and he keeps producing like money in his pockets. Thank you. And so, Ian, I have to tell you, you left Senpai in the drawer and you shut the drawer. Yeah. Yeah. Senpai likes, he's fine. Senpai, one of our cats, likes crawling in the drawers and sleeping there, and Ian come here. Shut the door. Come here. He's a black cat, so it's like he probably looked like clothing.
Invisible void.
Yeah, he is a void. I got no cat on cat cam tonight. So okay, what happens after they get in? Did we decide that the pasta's still cooking?
Mm-hmm. It's
I just think they're all sitting in chairs, relaxing, eating pasta, but the dog is just like front and center going to town.
All right, that might be like a last panel.
Yeah,
for
that's what I
this.
think it is.
I think it might be a last panel, which means I don't know. It might just turn into a sketch show for the rest of it. If we finish the story.
We could start thinking about the news story, just thinking about it.
No, I think I like the idea of it being an improv, spontaneous comic with suggestions from the audience. Otherwise, it feels a little more staged than that. Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
And so, yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I love how you draw blue, though.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Now that I've got my mouse and my, let's see, I have a dock, and so now I can see my second screen, so I can see all you guys.
Yay!
And, I'm not just stuck with my tiny screen.
Yeah, we figured out what the Wacom issue is. It's a processing issue.
Yeah, I just don't got the processor string. Or it's a 4-year-old Mac going on 5, and it just doesn't have the processor strength to run a Wacom and Restream.
Yeah, exactly.
And Photoshop.
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of our.
Maybe if I had like a
discovery.
simpler drawing program, it didn't take as much memory, and might help me out a little bit. But yeah.
On that note, I would recommend Krita as your free alternative. Krita is free. It's an open source art program, pretty powerful, excellent for animation.
Ooh, okay.
Because it has an animation like setup where you can even do onion skinning for the pages, you know, where if you know anything about animation, it's like the hand flip, you know, with the fingers. And so yeah, and so like it will color the first like the one the frame in front of yours like green and the frame after in red, so that you can tell where your movement is and the frame you're drawing. You can add frames in between, like as like animation programs go for hand drawn animation. It's pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, no, Ian started teaching this week in my neck of the woods. And so I've been getting up at 5 a.m. I slept in today until like almost 9, I admit.
Nice.
But
I dream of those days.
Yeah, I don't get them very often anymore.
Yesterday I was up at 5, I worked from 7 till 1:30. Then I had to go to my other job because one of my coworkers, her flag football team made the nationals, and nobody would take her shift, and I felt bad. I was like, I don't want to be the one not letting her go to nationals.
Well, you know, so, you're not the one preventing her from going.
No,
you know, but taking her shift allows her to go. That's nice.
Yeah, and that's why I did it. It was just so she could go. But anyway, so then I worked there from 3:30 to 6:30. I was like destroyed at the end of the day yesterday. Jeremy's dog Jackson is hanging with him. I'm jealous.
Aww.
Wish we could see.
Let's see. Yeah, my dog Jackson is hanging with me and is resting on the frog bed. Excellent. And I invited a bunch of people, but you know, Jeremy's really good showing up, but I think Rob is busy with stuff tonight.
Oh, well, understandably.
Yeah. So did we decide that they're just eating pasta then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The end.
Okay. Then that's the panel I'll do. It's just the end. The end. I'll do that as like the next panel.
Then.
Okay. And then duplicate. Yeah, and then for folks playing the home game, I got my feet in a bucket of water because it's really hot here right now. And so
It was hot when I
yeah.
came home. That's why I'm in like a sleeveless shirt, but it's cooled down. I had the fan
Yeah.
on. It's been a lot hotter in the past, I assure you. And next week's supposed to get hot again, but then it's going to be fall because the leaves are starting to descend as we speak.
Yep, they're starting to turn just a little bit at the edges, and I'm wondering whether it's because we got too much rain here in Minnesota or the trees didn't get quite enough rain. I don't know, but I'm starting to see little red leaves pop up.
It's still very green here. Still very green here.
Starting to yellow. Our stuff's
Yeah.
starting to yellow. And I've seen leaves on the ground.
Oh, I've seen leaves on the ground, but yeah, no, our stuff's not quite yellow yet, but you guys are both a lot more north than I am. Yeah, I was
That's
going to
true.
try to set up my Twitch tonight, but I had a lot going on. Jeremy, if you need help with your Twitch, let me know. Okay? And I'll help you set it up. I've set up my own, and I can show you like where all the nooks and crannies are. Like, yeah. Okay, what did we decide? The end. In fact, you know what? I don't even think we need a caption on this one.
I just wanted to see the dog in the center, big, eating pasta, looking really happy. And then everybody else is behind him eating pasta.
Yes.
But I just think like the focus should be on the dog going to town on the pasta. Going to town.
Let's see. Let me put K in the big one. In the big window.
Okay.
You're drawing the everybody eating pasta.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's yours.
the dog front and center.
Get the word K.
Mm-hmm.
Chop, chop.
Oh, be nice to Kay.
No, I was just being silly because I didn't notice that it was her panel either.
Let's see. Yeah, okay. Since she's working on that, I'll show my panel because there's something here.
Play that funky music, DJ.
Oh yeah, it's just down tempo. It's just the freaking AI music that Restream has.
I want to know how all these TikToks and stuff get away with playing songs from other people. When if you go online and you look into it, it's like, no, you can't. Not even 10 seconds.
You can legally play 30 seconds of a song without paying for it. I don't know about Canadian law, but in the US, you can play 30 seconds of a song without paying for it.
Oh, because online they say no. You could still get it taken down by the DMC or whatever, muted.
Again, like I'm thinking along the lines of like late night or something, they'll have like everybody dance now, right? But they cut it off right there because any more of that song they have to pay for it, right? And the joke gets off because, you know, if like they're dancing and then they play that song or whatever, you know, song they use for a joke, it still hits the punchline, but you know, it doesn't rob them blind for them having to do it. And so I do know that is one of our broadcast rules. What's interesting is that TikTok, Facebook, you know, like YouTube, Twitch, all of that is not under FCC regulation because it's not broadcast over the airwaves. It's the same way that streaming services get away with not paying writers for their streaming is because it's not over the airwaves where there's protections for the writers to get residuals. Streaming services are over, you know, bandwidth. And so they basically say, since it's not over the airwaves, we don't have to pay you anything. And so that also allows them to also hide their viewership numbers. That's why nobody really knows the numbers at Disney Plus is because they don't really share the real numbers. They share their trust up numbers. Yeah.
Very sneaky.
It is very sneaky. Yeah. I don't know. I watch like a lot of YouTube. I watch like Legal Eagle and stuff like that, and they'll go over this stuff. And so I find it fascinating. Yeah, I'm spending time on these letters. Here, let me do this. Let me work on the letters. I will put K front and center because K is actually drawing something versus me.
That doggy's so happy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's
take a lot to please a doggy.
no, they pretty much know how to be happy. Yeah. I'm just doing a big the end.
Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah. Like Animaniacs.
Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun.
it's time for Animaniacs.
Yeah, I was let's see. I forgot to mention that since there's a fundraiser going on, an anthology that I contributed to has one going on crowdfunder. Oh, that's good. What is the fundraiser going on? Is it for the book?
I can't hear him. Did you respond?
No, he
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah, no. So I don't know if you guys hear the dings on your end. I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
Do you
I
guys
was
hear
just
the
pretending
dings?
that you were talking to him.
Oh no, do you guys hear the dings?
I have, a few times.
So when there's a response, you guys are hearing the dings on your side.
I am not.
Not always, but I do. I do hear dings every once in a while, but not always.
Interesting. Let's see. Columbus Cartoon Coalition is publishing a group anthology. It's their third one, and we've raised over $1,100 and have 47 hours left. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Okay.
Columbus Cartoon Coalition. Say that 10 times fast.
Let's do janky lines.
You know, I hate to do this, but I think I might bail when we finish drawing this last panel.
Yeah?
Yeah, and you guys can do like your sketch show.
Well, I don't know what's gonna go on, but
I'm just super sleepy. Like I'm already yawning, and I usually don't start yawning till about 10.
You know what? We might finish early since we're finishing early. You know, as a
do that, but if you want to sketch, you can. I don't want to stand in the way of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got a summer cold that I'm battling, and
no.
Yesterday,
Robin,
I need
Robin, you're fine. You don't have to justify it. You know, I totally get being exhausted, and you have a very physical job, and you get up at 5 a.m. So you know, like,
I'm actually kind of worried because I have like foot problems, and I started taking this Tylenol Ultra Relief, and my foot problems have gone away, and I'm like, they're there, but the drugs are making them not be there, and it bothers me. I'm like, oh man, what does that mean?
It means you're getting older.
Yeah, but I just don't feel comfortable like that the drugs make everything go away.
Yeah,
because the pain's still there. Like honestly, I feel like I should be resolving the pain issues and not just taking Tylenol.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You're talking to Americans that are used to toughing through stuff, so we don't have to pay for the doctor.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Tylenol is over the counter. It's not
exactly.
It's not exactly hard to get.
Yeah, and it's not the worst thing. I take ibuprofen. I mean, not like daily or anything, but when I got a headache or muscle sores and stuff. And I've been going back to the gym. I started going back again this week, and like my muscles have been sore from that. So I've been taking, ibuprofen. I don't see it as like, oh my gosh, I'm hiding the pain. I see it as more, it's helping me get through the day.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if I'm making it worse. That's all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like ignoring it. But I've been doing my exercises in the morning, so
Yeah. Jeremy says, and don't forget the copay. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy gets
I
it.
never forget the Kobe.
Jeremy, I want to say lives in New York. Either New York City or New Jersey, right across the river. One of the two.
New
And
York.
yeah, which is pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
I lived there very briefly, and there was 8 of us shoved into a 2-bedroom apartment. And I was the
Where
only
were
girl.
you in New York?
I was off 58th Street, and
Oh,
so
okay.
I was the only girl, and so they gave me the closet that had one of these doors for my bed, so that I could have some privacy.
Well, at least you got
Yeah.
some privacy.
Yeah. I mean, the other guys were sharing the
Smaller than
bedroom.
a prison cell.
Yeah, the thing was this closet was in the living room, despite the fact that I had a bedroom sliding door. And so I was right off the living room. Like, if they were out in the living room, like, I couldn't sleep anyway, but at least I had some privacy to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the things we did when we were young.
Yeah. But, that was my attempt to write comedy, go to New York, and do stand-up and stuff. And it wasn't a very successful attempt. I wasn't there for longer than like 3 months. And I went, yeah, I cannot afford to live here.
Yeah, it's crazy those places. Like, I used to live in Vancouver when I was in my 20s, but couldn't live there now. Not in my dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's expensive. It's like they even have a Real Housewives of Vancouver? And I was just like, I watched one episode and I was like, I never saw that side of that city, and I knew that city inside out for 11 years. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah. It's kind of it. You'd be surprised where rich people live.
Yeah.
Fort Lee, New Jersey. And then I remember hoping to work for Valiant Comics, not saying it's impossible, but right now it's to be determined. Jim Valentino. Jim Valentino's pretty good, and I think he lives in New Jersey. He might be a good mentor.
Isn't Valiant Jim Shooter?
No, it's Jim Shooter. No. I'm sorry. For some reason I was mixing up Shadowhawk with like Solar for some reason.
Well, I mean, Valentino is big part of Image, so you're not off.
Yeah.
Hey, Magic Marmot's in the building.
Yay! Magic Marmot's in the building, which reminds me, we are having a fundraiser for Magic Marmot's Burned House. There is a link in the description to the GoFundMe. I don't think we need to go over the pictures again, but they're pretty devastating. And it's going to be tough. Which reminds me, Rob said that he reached out to you, Kay, and you guys are going to have lunch.
Me? Oh, okay. I didn't catch that. I haven't been on my home email much today.
Oh, no. I don't think it's your email. I think he reached out to you on Facebook.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll catch up with my messages. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
When's he going to reach out to me and have lunch?
I don't know. Do you live in Minneapolis?
No. Just being a smart ass.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I've been watching a lot of Two Broke Girls because it's a great attention span, short thing. But I've watched it all before, and so this is my second time going through it years later. I really enjoy it, but I think most of it's because they're poor. Like, yeah, I can relate.
I can relate. Let's see. I happily buy lunch, not in my neighborhood. Yeah. Minneapolis is interesting because they are kind of going through, like when I was there, they were starting this green movement. I kind of got started a little bit before I lived there, but they were really leaning into it. And now the green movement is like trying to eliminate cars from the city.
Yeah.
And so
the whole city?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so they're doing things like
That
making it
never happened
harder.
here.
They're doing things like making it harder to park, you know, and
Yeah.
harder to like own a car to try and encourage people to bike.
Yeah, they pretty much took the parking out from in front of my apartment building. They turned the road from two-way to one-way, one narrow lane, which is very narrow because there's parking on the other side of the street. But it's like the couriers have to park on the other side of the street and skitter over to us to drop off packages now. Also, the folks, taxis or the rideshare services have to go southbound and kind of people jump in. We used to have a place where you could pull in and somebody like an elderly lady could get into her cab or into her ride share and take off from there. It's a little uncomfortable. Also, I have to look both ways whenever I go out of the door because there's a bike lane there. It's a two-way bike lane and it's a bike highway. They go
Well, you know about the Amsterdam exit, right?
No, I think I'll read
Or-
on that.
Or maybe it's called the Dutch exit. They do it in Holland and the Netherlands. It's a trick so that you don't being bicyclists and that you take your right arm and that's how you go and open your door. And then you automatically look left no matter what. You know what I mean? Because your arm is like... But it's called, I think it's called the Dutch exit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, they're gonna have to start teaching that at the DMV then.
Yeah, they probably have started to. It's a little late now. But I learned that when I was bicycling.
Says, Kay, you're a wedgie? ? You live in the Wedge, right?
No, I live a little bit south of there, Kingfield.
Oh, I knew you were close to there. I thought you were in the Wedge. I'm sorry.
Bogart Donuts.
Yeah.
Close. Yep.
Okay, yeah. I'd never been to your place, so. Hamill used to live in the Wedge, and so.
Yeah, he lives a little bit south of me now. And is it still Kingfield? Yeah, I think it is still Kingfield. It's not Richfield.
Magic Margaret, that's inappropriate.
A Dutch exit is what I call my first European girlfriend. Kingsfield is close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta have Hamill in the show. He's been super busy. Hamill's the guy that created it, and he's been in the comments once, but he's making Coca-Cola commercials and stuff now. He's doing really well. He was always reaching out to people for Freaky Deaky, which was another show that we did where he would have local musicians and artists and stuff come up on the show, and it was like an improv performance art show that people would call into and interact with us. Kay, did you ever do Freaky Deaky?
No, I was always watching from home on a very old Mac. It was great.
Yeah, well then you understand the wildness of the show. I got one episode of Freaky Deaky uploaded to YouTube on one of my old channels.
It was more popular than Philo, unfortunately, because everybody would get naked at the end and dance.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to top that.
Over. You did not.
Hey, our crew already got naked and had a dance off. Enough.
Oh, Magic Marmot. Yes, we are finishing the story.
Layers of detail and patterns. So you didn't really know who was naked and who wasn't. Everybody was naked. But it was, you hadn't seen anything so wild outside of Amsterdam. It was great.
MTN in their editing room had something that's called a toaster. That's this big, huge piece of equipment that newsrooms used to use for their weather graphics, and when they would put stuff in the corner and they're talking about breaking news and it says breaking news, right? So it allowed you to make graphics on the fly back in the 80s. Anyway, so they had it was an Amiga, says Magic Marmot, and so they had this toaster there, and it allowed you to do things like green screen, which is chroma key, and you can set the chroma key to anything, right? It's not just stuck to blue or green or whatever. And so he would do these things with the chroma key where he would play last week's episode behind this episode. And he would do that like 6 weeks in a row. So you would have sometimes the same person dancing with amalgamations of themselves, all kind of layered on top of each other. Not to mention whatever insanity was going on the screen. I brought in puppets. It was strange. It was a crazy fun time. Anyway, I bring it up because it was one of his contacts from Freaky Deaky that ended up getting him all of this commercial work. And,
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Hamill was able to like really conquer that because, you know, he
someone had faith.
What?
Someone had faith. He was able to conquer that because someone had faith in him.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, he's a very, very smart guy. He's one of those people. He's almost like a fictional character because you walk into his apartment and he had this small little basement 1-bedroom apartment that he was living in at the time. I don't know where he's living in at now. I think he's in a house with his girlfriend.
Yep.
But at the time he was in this like small little basement apartment, and he had so many books. He had bookshelves with like the cinder block and board bookshelves in front of it with like stacked books in front of that.
A lot.
Like, yeah, like the most well-read man I know. And like, I mean, I'm not talking like he had books. He was just a collector of books. I mean, I'm talking he read the things. Yeah. And, you know, he was always like finishing a book a week or something. And, oh, I read this interesting thing. And, you know, he kind of like he'd talk and he'd joke and stuff, but about his own thoughts, he's very quiet. And so, you know, he's really good at kind of not pushing people away, but keeping people at a distance with humor. Mm-hmm. And so I felt very privileged that he showed that part of himself to me, of all of these books that he had. And like, I mean, I talk like I would go in every week and it'd be like new books, because he'd just go down to the used bookstore and he'd drop off this batch and pick up a new batch. I don't even think they charged him for them.
He's also incredibly bilingual.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What, Spanish?
I got him on the phone at times, and sometimes the person on the other end is Spanish, and he just flips back and forth between English and Spanish effortlessly. The conversation just kept going, didn't slow down. You know, whomever was on the line, he could handle the conversation. That's when the family goes on trips, he's the interpreter.
Yeah, wow, that'd be cool. Like my Spanish, I learned a very good phrase for Spanish. Mi español es muy malo. My Spanish is very bad.
No.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Dale. Let's see. I'm seeing the end. What did I miss? Sorry, I'm late. Recovering from San Francisco Pen Show. It's the end of the comic they made. It was an Amiga. The best cartoon characters are naked. Very cool, Hamill. The big stations in the late 80s had the Quintel paint box. Photoshop and the Apple Mac killed the Quintel paint box. And then Chiron, I'm old. These bookshelves are poor Kia. And then you, Kia, I'm Kia. Una cerveza, por favor. Una cerveza, por favor, says Dale. So he wants a beer.
Ah. Okay.
Yes.
I thought he wanted a deer.
No. Cerveza is beer. Zapatos is shoes. There's a couple words I know. You know, mota is marijuana. You know, mota is the Spanish word for pot.
Okay.
And so, yeah, like if you're, I got some mota. Yeah, and yeah is the Spanish word for cocaine. But whatever. I picked that up from Narcos. From the show. Yes, we reached the end. So let's review what we did. So Kay, you had the first panel. Let me put you up. And yeah, and so this is the panel before the last. Putas y cervezas. putas, putas. La puta, so it's a whore, right? Yeah, so putas y cervezas is whores and beers. Okay. Hookers and beers. Okay. Yes, so go to the first panel, Kay, if you can.
I can't. I'm sorry. I put it away. Let's see if I can open it up again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, so we had Armand pull back the reality of space-time and return our guys home. There we go. And so there he is pulling back the reality of space-time. And then going to my panel, my next panel, is we have Bluto say what a long, strange trip that was. And then going to Kay's panel, they eat pasta. Everyone eats pasta. And then going to my last panel, it's the end. And so, yeah, so we realized that it's a good wrap to the story. Next episode, we are going to start a new story. I do not know what it will be. I do not know where it will go. I do not know if we will do just a story an episode. That's what we used to do with the old show. And it was a pretty good format. We might go back to that. I don't know. If you guys like the format the way it is, if you leave comments on YouTube, I can read them and stuff. I know most of you guys are on Twitch right now, but it also streams on YouTube and you can find it there. And if you leave comments there, then the comments do not disappear. And so that way I can do it. So it was a dog's dream. Should have had a big butt at the end. Of course, Dale. A big butt. But yes, so we finished. We have completed the first story of the Return of Philo. He went to the land of Philo and stuff. If we start a new story, do I still keep the cliff notes? Are we ever going to use those characters again? I like big butts and I cannot lie, said Magic Marmot. No ifs and or buts, says Jeremy. So everybody is wanting a big butt somehow, I guess. And I think we lost Robin.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. She gets up at 5 a.m. She has a hard day and very physical, and her feet hurt when she gets home. So yeah, no and if or buts. No, I don't. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think we're actually going to end the show early today because I don't feel like starting a new story yet. I feel like starting a new story with the next episode. I just told Dale that no ifs, ands, or buts are allowed on the stream. And then will Philo be the centerpiece? Philo should be the centerpiece of the next story, definitely. It started out with him, but then Otis kind of took over. So I don't know if Otis is going to return. I don't know what's going on with the next episode.
It became a Philo.
Yeah, at one point they became women, and then they switched back randomly. And then, so I think it's fair to say that gender is liquidic in the Philo universe. In the multiverse of Philo, there are many Philo and Phyla. And would the they version of Phyla or Philo be Phile? Phile, like A E.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to end the show early tonight because we finished here. Thank you so much for joining us, Magic Marmot, and for Jeremy and Dale and everybody who has joined us for this first crazy journey with Philo. I think it was a good introduction for people of how crazy it is. And I think it'll be fun. Let's see. No, that's the bisexual version, says Magic Marmot. I just told, next week on Philo, the Batassi, says Dale, is he wants it to be, an odyssey of butts. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to close this down and let's close our screens. We got no cat on Cat Cam tonight. And Robin fell asleep, so I'm just going to say good night, Robin. I hope you feel better. You know, I know you're tired. And then Miss K, I want to say thank you very much for being my guest artist and joining me on this crazy journey. And
Glad you
you
figured
know,
stuff
yeah,
out.
we're gonna continue. And yeah, and then audience, thank you, audience, for joining us. And you know, we're gonna continue Philo and see where it goes. And hopefully it will go somewhere. So have a good evening. See you in the future. Bye.